Hey and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle two English phrases that, on the surface, seem kind of similar, but whoa, they carry wildly different messages. We're talking about had better and it's time. You know, if you get this right, you sound clear and precise. But if you get it wrong, you might sound way harsher than you ever meant to.
So ask yourself, are you trying to give some friendly advice or a really serious warning? Or are you actually making a complaint? The phrase you pick makes all the difference. This is a super common tripwire for English learners, but trust me, by the end of this, it's all going to make perfect sense.
All right, let's kick things off with the heavy hitter. Had better. Seriously, think of this less like a gentle suggestion and more like a loud, clear, urgent warning. This is the phrase you pull out when there are real stakes involved.
So the main idea here is super simple. It's all about consequences. Had better always, and I mean always, has an unspoken or else attached to it. When you hear someone say had better, your brain should immediately start scanning for the bad thing that's going to happen if you don't listen up.
Now, the good news is the grammar is actually really easy. It's just your subject, then had better, and then the verb in its simplest form, the base verb. And this is key, no to before it. So it's you had better go, never you had better to go. Simple as that.
Let's see it in action. You had better see a doctor, the unspoken part, or your illness is going to get way worse. How about you had better not be late, right? Or you're going to be in big trouble. Or we had better not miss the train, because if we do, we're going to be stranded here all night. See? That negative consequence is always just hiding in the background.
And that is the absolute crucial difference. Let's compare it to should. You should see a doctor is just good advice. It's friendly. But you had better see a doctor. Now that's a warning. It's urgent. It implies that if you ignore this, bad things will happen. It's just so much stronger. They're not even in the same league.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about it's time. This one's a little bit of a shapeshifter because it has two totally different forms. One is completely neutral, and the other one, well, let's just say the other one packs a pretty critical punch.
First up, let's look at this simple, friendly version. This is the one you probably use all the time without even giving it a second thought. So when you say it's time and you follow it with a to verb, like to leave or to eat, you're really just stating a fact. You're just announcing that, yep, this is the right moment for this action to happen. There's no secret message, no hidden meaning at all. For example, it's time to start the lesson. Simple. The clock on the wall says it's time, so we're starting. It's neutral, it's factual. But, and this is a big but, this phrase has a very tricky twin.
And here it is. This is where it gets interesting. If you just change the structure tiny bit, you completely flip the meaning on its head, from a neutral statement right into a criticism.
Let's look at how we build this. It starts with it's time, but then you add a subject, like you or he or they, and you follow that with a verb in the past tense. You can even amp it up by adding about or high, like it's high time. Okay, and this is where a little bit of grammar magic happens. That past tense verb, it's not actually talking about the past. It's what we call a fake past tense. It's technically the subjunctive mood, and we use it to talk about something that should be happening right now, but isn't. It's our way of signaling that an action is seriously overdue.
So when you say it's time you cleaned your room, you're not talking about something that happened yesterday. You're saying right here, right now, that this action is late. What you're really implying is you should have already done this, and frankly, I'm getting a little impatient. It's basically a complaint disguised as a simple statement about time.
All right, it is time for the main event. Let's get all three of these structures up on the screen together so we can see the differences in black and white. I promise you, this is where it's all going to click.
Okay, look at this. The difference in tone is crystal clear. Had better do is a straight-up warning. You had better study, or the consequence is you'll fail. It's time to do is just a neutral fact. Hey, it's 6 o'clock, it's time to eat dinner. And it's time you did, that's a criticism. It's time you stopped wasting money because you should have stopped a long time ago. So we've got a threat, a fact, and a complaint. The difference is huge.
So you've seen the theory. Now let's put it into practice. I'm going to throw a few sentences at you, and you've got to decide which phrase fits best. You ready for this?
Okay, first one up. You blank call your parents. They're waiting. Is it had better or it's time to? The big clue here is that last part. They're waiting. And the answer is had better. Why? Because there's a negative consequence just waiting to happen, right? Making your parents wait is probably going to make them worry or get annoyed. That is a perfect situation for had better.
All right, next one. It's high blank, the manager did something about this issue. What do you think? Notice we've got that past tense verb did and that little intensifier, high.
Yep, it's time that. That whole structure, it's high time that, plus a subject plus a past tense verb, is the classic formula for complaining that something is super overdue.
Okay, last one for you. We blank book the tickets before prices go up. What's the key piece of information in that sentence?
It is had better once again. In this one, the negative consequence isn't just implied, it's stated right there in the sentence. Before prices go up. To avoid that bad outcome, you need that urgent warning. And that is a job for had better.
So, if you're going to remember one thing from all of this, remember this. It all comes down to the consequence. When you're trying to decide which phrase to use, just ask yourself one question. Is there a specific negative consequence if this action doesn't happen? If the answer is yes, you almost always want had better. If you're just pointing out that now is the right moment, it's time to. And if you're complaining that something should have already happened, then it's time you did.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Now that you can see the huge difference in the feeling and the meaning behind these phrases, can you think of a time where maybe you've used one when you really meant the other? It's such a small change in your words, but it makes a world of difference in what people actually hear.